We want to turn our attention now to the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, which here in the United States has just had a big victory at Pitzer College. And to talk more about this, we are very honored to be joined by Bella Jacobs, who is with the Pitzer Students for Justice in Palestine. Bella, thanks so much for being with us.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Well, it's great to have you here, and it was great to see the fruits of the labor of you and your fellow students. For those who maybe haven't seen, tell us what took place at Pitzer College with the cancellation of this study abroad in occupied Palestine.
Yeah, definitely. So we just had a major BDS victory at Pitzer College. And basically, what happened is we had an institutional relationship with the University of Haifa, but we were able to, through our shared governance processes at Pitzer, shut the program down and close the program based on the fact that it doesn't align with Pitzer's core values. And Pitzer's an institution that prides itself on its core values of social justice, intercultural understanding, student engagement, and others. And we were able to write a proposal that proved that through a lot of Maya Wind, she's an Israeli scholar who is studying how Israeli universities deny Palestinian freedom. We were able to show how our partnership with the University of Haifa was a betrayal of Pitzer's core values, and because of that, then the program was closed. So we're really happy that it worked out.
Mhm.
Well, congratulations. This is such a big deal, and I hope it has a domino effect with other campuses around the country. Um, did you face an uphill battle? I mean, that's really cool what you described, the sort of idea of your school, like the social justice ideals that you connected that to. But as we know, across universities and colleges in the US, there is a heavy Israel lobby influence. There are groups that push back hard against any attempts by students or faculty to try to boycott, sanction, divest in any way whatsoever. So, yeah, can you tell us a little bit about the struggles that you and your the other students who were involved in this perhaps faced while trying to get this passed?
Most definitely. So I will say that the wind I just described to you sounded nice and simple. We put in a proposal, it was approved. This is a continuation of a 6-year campaign from professors, students, and alumni to close Pitzer Haifa. And in 2018 and 2019, there was a similar campaign held where faculty voted to suspend our relationship with the University of Haifa, and then went on to College Council, which is a governance body made up of students, staff, and faculty. And it passed to suspend our relationship with the University of Haifa. However, it was then vetoed by our previous president, Melvin Oliver. And so, students and faculty, along with the alumni who were involved in that, they Yep, there's Melvin all over. We were trying, we had to wait until we had a new president with new opportunities. And also, honestly, the situation has changed a lot, and we now have more faculty support, more student support, and we also have an alumni campaign where right now we have over 145 alums who have pledged not to donate until Pitzer takes up BDS values.
Wow.
Wow. Well, I mean, this is, I mean, really, I have to say, this is a big victory. And I think it's really important for what has been happening, around the country in terms of campuses and students who have been, part of this huge movement of millions of people. I mean, I guess for you all, what is the importance of this in this moment? I mean, it's important, of course, at any time it had happened in any way, shape, or form, given the ongoing occupation. But I mean, given what's happening with the genocide in Gaza, I mean, talk about the importance of it and how it feels to have this victory now.
Yeah, I mean, this victory, it's really amazing. It's really exciting. It was definitely an uphill battle, and one that continues on. We're not stopping with just the closure of our partnership with the University of Haifa, and we're looking towards future goals, BDS goals. Um, but the situation has never been more dire, and I think that this is a point in time where, with the current genocide in Gaza, like it has gone on so long that I think the American public is finally starting to realize that perhaps this current episode of violence that Israel's inflicting on Palestinians did not begin on October 7th. It began long before that. It began 75 years ago with the original Nakba, which is an ongoing, continued process of state domination. And so, yeah, this is really important. And I think also the importance of this happening at an American university, we have the most, America has the most leverage in stopping this genocide and in ending the occupation. And, US academic institutions play a vital role in that. And one of the things that I think is so amazing about the boycott, divestment, sanctions movement is that it is a nonviolent source of pressure that we can use externally to try to change the situation happening in Israel right now. And this is what we keep saying to people is that if you abhor violence like we do, if you want to see to the end of all violence for all people, then you should support BDS. And if you do not support BDS, then you're giving, you're there's not a lot of options left for people. And so I'm really happy to have this BDS win, especially at an American university.
I'm curious. You mentioned something about the situation has changed, and
Mhm.
I'm thinking maybe what you mean by that is the fact that the current situation we're in, where we're watching a genocide unfold, and it's just one horror after another. I mean, I don't think any of us have ever seen anything like this. I think it's quite unprecedented. And it's probably radicalized. I know it's radicalized a lot of people. A lot of people are learning about this issue for the first time, and they're completely horrified. So I guess I'm
Yeah.
wondering, what is the what is the change you're seeing? Have you had more interest in the group you're involved in among your peers to be a part of it, to learn about Palestine? Maybe they didn't know about it before, or have people changed their opinions? I mean, what have you witnessed just at your school alone, and the way that this genocide in Gaza has impacted people's views and the urgency to do something?
Yeah, most definitely. I think that, like you're saying, like we have reached a turning point, especially with the American public, where we're watching genocide like live stream on our phones, and there is really not a way to ignore it at this point. And I think that people are having to reckon with that themselves, saying, all right, this has continued on so long. I am complicit in this as an American citizen and as someone who's paying tax dollars to the American government. And so I think people are really having these reflective moments of, it's time to do something. I mean, I've had discussions with certain professors who have said, I really care about this issue, but I don't know if it's my right to say something. I don't know if I should really be involved. And the same with a lot of students saying, I'm not Palestinian or I'm not Jewish, so this is not my fight to fight. But I think it's so important that we really see. I personally have seen a change with that at the Claremont colleges, where professors and students have said, you know what, like it's time for me to step up because if we're complicit, it's time to refuse to be complicit any longer.
And let me just ask you this. I'm curious what you would say to other students who may be watching this. I mean, I think one of the faculty, you see so much on your phone. I think that's a great point. It can make you feel sometimes somewhat helpless. What would you say to other students who are also outraged, about what power they have?
Yeah, I think that, first off, we need to find every source of pressure possible to put on our institutions that are funding this genocide, whether that be start local, start with your school, your university, start with your city council. Look at the institutions where you have leverage. And then those eventually are going to influence larger institutions like the US government itself. I mean, we've seen a shift in the mainstream media shift in the way that the Biden administration, at least, is on the surface talking about these issues. They sure are continuing to send weapons and bombs, but the pressure is adding up, and that there are so many ways for you to engage. And so, start local, start with where you have impact, and engage there.
Hmm. Well, we really appreciate you being willing to join us, and we really appreciate the Pitzer Students for Justice in Palestine. Bella Jacobs, thanks for giving us some of your time
Thank
here
you
on the
so
Freedom Side.
much.
Mhm.
I really appreciate it. Thanks.